So this is me, but in a different timeline, where zombies are real. Let me explain. We're gonna call this guy Abe. He was nearing graduation when something happened that would change his life forever. An incident at a biotech plant somehow brought upon the living dead, and since then, things haven't really been much better. Many people died, most of the buildings were destroyed, and even after a while, the government just fell apart. And then, boom, the US has been dissolved because the zombie threat has been declared too big of an epidemic for the nation to take care of itself. Now, everyone was on their own. So, let's go back to Abe. So Abe here, he hears this news, and it's devastating. But he decides that enough is enough. He takes all of his supplies and decides to leave California, looking for a good spot to settle. 10 years go by, and yeah, I know that's kind of a long stretch of time to just go across, but what happened isn't really important. What is important, however, are these two, Ivan and John Marco.
Hey, what's up?
Now, 10 years has gone by, and society is somewhat starting to rebuild, but the people are still on their own since, well, the US is no longer a thing.
You know, the US has been gone for like 10 years. Why don't we just start a new country?
So together, Abe, John Marco, and Ivan decided to start their own country. They got to create posters and a new flag,
Hey, Abe, what do you think about this new flag I designed?
and together they called it the Red Republic. Here's their flag. The snake crest in the middle represents the people fighting back against the oppressive issue, that being either zombies or raiders, because they're raiders now. Each of the three founders had a job to do. Abe was the leadership, in charge of making the new laws and constitution. Ivan was the outreach. Basically imagine a Jehovah's Witness, but instead of promoting religion, he would be promoting the Red Republic.
Hey, do you want to talk about the Red Republic? We have a wonderful nation.
And we didn't really have a job for John Marco, so we kind of just told him to look for a leadership house and just clean it up and turn it into a makeshift White House. Yeah, we kind of ran out of ideas by like the end. Now, originally, the country was designed to be an oligarchy, with the three main leaders being Ivan, John Marco, and Abe, with the country structure being parliamentary. And though it's listed as such, the true leaders are still the three leaders. Basically, these three leaders have all the power. But people didn't question them because they were actually really good at their job at first. They focused on the people and the survival. That was what the Red Republic was all about. Eventually, we started bringing in more and more people, and as we grew more and more populous, we had to set rules and give everyone a chance at a better life. Now, let's go over some characteristics of the Red Republic. Take it away, John Marco.
These are our characteristics. Outcast the zombies if an unspeakable act is committed. Murder or sexual assault, and anything gruesome and unholy along those lines. Citizens cannot leave our zombie-free borders, and every citizen is entitled to a job that helps our nation flourish. If you are born on Red Republic soil, you become a citizen. Laws are enforced by fines to those who would disobey them. We'll have to do hours of service to make amends with the community. Our military, the defense squad, has higher rates than civilians, can be drafted to military service in case of an emergency. Every citizen over the age of 15 has a mandatory job to 1 week a month of watch guard duty to look out for zombies or raiders like a human alarm. Citizen arrests can be made. Citizens have the right to free speech and free will. Every citizen is entitled to one firearm in the house in case of an emergency, outbreak, or raiders. Emergency weapons are found across our nation, which only citizens know the locations of in case of danger. Citizens will have to collaborate for the prosperity of the Great Red Republic.
And that's about everything. It's pretty simple, people love it, people are happier, they're more productive, and it just seems like this country is just gonna keep getting better and better. Until a couple of years go by, and it seems like everything is going well, but on the inside, things are about to get crazy. Ivan and John Marco, they see a new opportunity. With all these new rules in place, they have the perfect opportunity to start taking citizens and turning them into servants, under the guise of them not wanting to serve watchguard duty. But in reality, they have some dastardly plans. They start having more and more extravagant items. They make the servants cook this 4-course meal, and that, of course, takes a lot of resources that people need to survive. But not only are they making these servants treat them like they're kings, they also mistreat the hell out of them. They will get upset for the pettiest of reasons and even sometimes give them black eyes. Yikes. And it's not like the servants are fighting back, but if they do, Ivan and John Marco will threaten them with the zombie pit to keep the servants in line. Where did they get the zombies from? Anyways, the people are growing more and more upset with what's going on, and people just seem to be disappearing. And it seems like less produce is being provided to the people. And the crazy part, they think that Abe is the reason why all of this is happening. Because somebody has been spreading propaganda that suggests that Abe is going to turn this country into a dictatorship. Now, Abe is super confused. Who the heck is spreading all of this propaganda? And where are all these missing people going? Whatever it was, Abe returned to the leadership house, just tired and stressed. But then he notices there are servants in the house, which at first doesn't seem like a big deal. But then Abe notices these servants look like they haven't eaten in days, and some of them even have black eyes and bruises. Yeah, something fishy is going on around here. So Abe asks Ivan, what's up with all the new servants? And why do they look like they've been beat up? But then he says,
these people didn't want to do, watch guard duty. We needed to make a lesson out of them for disobeying our rules.
Which sounds super weird. Normally people don't disagree with watchguard duty. And so Abe is left even more confused, and he just heads to bed. He's tired, and he just wants to clear his head.
John Marco, I think Abraham's noticing us. We gotta put him down.
Yeah, I agree.
So they come up with a plan. He'll wake up in the morning, they'll send him out to take care of an ordnance dispute, but then when he's walking there, a mercenary will show up and... Simple, but effective. The next day comes, Abe starts walking to take care of this made-up dispute. The mercenary is hiding on top of a rundown house. He's aiming his rifle down at Abe, and then Abe goes down, unresponsive. Hours later, Ivan gives a press conference.
Good afternoon, people of the Red Republic. I regret to inform you that Abraham has had an assassination attempt this morning, and I never thought I would have to give this speech to our nation as he of such a strong community. We know that people believe Abraham is a fascist, but I would like to say that is not the case. Abraham has done so much great thing for us, but we will be doing investigation and clear some things up. If something does end up turning about, we will have to kick him out. Have a good day, and farewell, guys.
But Abe is still alive. Turns out the mercenary only grazed his eye, and Abe's just been lying there, wondering what the hell happened. People are talking about this conference, and Abe just starts asking some questions, and then suddenly... everything falls into place. The new servants, the nervous reactions, the attempt on his life. Ivan and John Marco are trying to get rid of Abe to stay in power. As Ivan and John Marco are still outside trying to calm down the people, Abe goes to the leadership house and gets all the servants to come outside. And finally, after all of this chaos, Abe finally convinces the people that Ivan and John Marco are the true culprits and that they need to be punished. Which brings us to the zombie pit, and I'm pretty sure you can guess what happens next. The corruption is finally over, but all of this just leaves Abe traumatized. He lost an eye, his two best friends, and it just seems like the people of this country doesn't have any faith in him anymore because of all of this. So it was time to make a change. He was going to turn the Red Republic into a democracy. In hindsight, Abe doesn't know why he didn't do this in the first place. It gives people more incentive to pick a better leader. Instead of doing 2 terms, they're only allowed to do 1, and that term will be about 6 years. The parliamentary structure will stay in place, but will be expanded into its own branch. So this way, there are a group of people making decisions alongside the president to make sure that corruption is cut down to nothing. It's better that the people pick out who deserves to lead the country, because in the end, a country without its people is truly the real crime against humanity. Shout out to the Red Republic, and thank you for watching this video.